Hey guys, this is episode 472. Can we just get into this? I'm going to do this very, very quickly because I don't feel well. And not feeling well blows, doesn't it? Doesn't it kind of suck when you don't feel well? Especially if you don't feel well and it doesn't look like you don't feel well. Because people don't believe you. Like if there's mucus falling out of your nose, you're all bent over, your skin's ashy. If you're the kind of sick that people can see, people understand it. Right? Like, say for the sake of argument, you have a stomach issue. I'm not going to a stomach. You know what I'm saying. Well, things that are in your stomach are rapidly leaving your stomach via the buttocks in liquid form. Right? You know what I'm saying? Diarrhea. You have that. Right? But other than that, you look normal. You look normal. And people don't believe you, man. I can't go out, man. I can't hang out, man. I got the runs. Man, you's a punk, man. Your girl won't let you go anywhere. I'm like, if by my girl you mean my lower intestines, then yes. Right? Because I remember a friend of mine, he was bragging to me. And it's really weird what dudes will brag about when they become comfortable with you. Because I wasn't even that close of a friend with this dude. And he's telling me all these things. Yeah, man, my girl, man, even when she's having her period, we still do it, man, and then I'm like, why would you tell me what you and I don't want to know about your genitals. I don't want to know about your girlfriend's genitals. I'm not that interested. Even when close friends of mine start talking about stuff like that a little bit too specifically, I'm like, dude, I've known you 15 years. Your wife is a good friend of mine. I don't want to think about her in any kind of nakedness. She's essentially like, you're like a brother to me. She's like a sister to me. Keep that crap to yourself. But he thought I was kidding and kept talking. Right? And he was explaining to me, it's really weird, man, because like when your woman has her period, you really can't tell, man. So she's walking around the house looking all good, and you walk up to her and you want to do something, and then she goes, man, I can't have my period. And I'm like, man, that's some bull, man. She don't look sick to me. How about we just take people's word for it when they say they don't feel well? If your woman is having her period and she doesn't want to get it on, then guess what? Don't get it on. Even if she doesn't have her period and just doesn't feel like getting it on, there's this new thing called leaving her the hell alone. If she doesn't want to do it, she doesn't want to do it. Now back to the sick thing. So I'm telling a friend of mine that I don't feel well. And he's looking at me like, man, you just don't want to go. It's not the case. I didn't feel well. But what I would like to do, and I know that science is doing amazing things. There's diseases now that if you have them now, you take a pill for it and it's gone, or you just go, okay, we'll take this medicine. You're going to be on this medicine forever, but your life is going to be normal as long as you maintain this medicine. It's like that. So you've cured a lot of things, medicine. Well, what I would like you to do is I would like you to be able to tell us when we're going to get sick before we get sick. I want to know that. And I'm telling you, I'm not talking about tomorrow, next week. I'm talking about, I want to know when I'm going to get sick I'm talking about next month, that kind of thing, or months in advance. I would love that. Wouldn't you just love that? Because how many times have you packed your schedule tight? Ooh, I got it, and you got a good groove going. You're having a great time. Everything's working out fine. Everything's scheduling perfect. Everything's lining up the way you like it. It's incredible. But what then happens? You get food poisoning. You catch the flu. You get a cold. You get a stomach virus. You get the runs. You did all this crap. Your back starts hurting because you have back problems 2 times a year. All of that crap just kind of sneaks up on you like it's got the vendetta against you or something. You know, those illnesses, those injuries, they just sneak up on you. I want science to hook up something where we know way in advance. I would love to be able to schedule sick days for when I know I'm going to get sick in the future. I would love to go to my computer and look at when is S. Anthony going to get sick. March 15th, you're going to have the runs. Well, at this particular time, it's December of the year before, but now I know March 15th in the future, I'm going to have the runs. Now, I work for myself, but if I worked in an office, you'd be able to, hey, Bill, yeah, What's going on? Well, I'm going to have the runs on March 15th. I'm going to need that day off. Oh, great. Any other illnesses that you know about from the new pre-illness system? Yeah. Um, I'm going to have the flu in June. My back's going to hurt. Oh, right around that time. So schedule me out for that entire week, right? Let's see. My knee's going to start acting up in April. That's yeah, I'm gonna need like a half a day because it's gonna start messing up while I'm at work. So just schedule me for half a day of sales calls on that day because I'm gonna need to get out of here and all of that crap. I would love that crap, right? Because women know when they're going to have their period. I had a girlfriend who was like clockwork, and I knew the 27th, 28th, 29th, and the 30th of every month, pretty much, those 4 days, that's what was going to happen. She would be preparing before it happened, right? If I walked into her apartment and I saw more than 2 boxes of hot chocolate mix in the damn cabinet, I'm like, oh, that's right. It's the 23rd. It's almost time, right? If I saw her dig out the heating pad from her garage, oh, I knew that it's coming on now, Jack. I knew it. If I knew that instead of 15 pillows on the bed, there was 725 pillows on the bed, I knew it was coming, right? I knew it. Right? And I wish that all illnesses were just like that. I also wish we knew when arguments were going to come up, right? Because I would like to avoid them if at all possible, especially if it's something stupid. Because just imagine how many times you've had a fight with your significant other or maybe with your friends, an argument with either one of them, and you could have avoided just by not being around. I remember one time I went to a girlfriend's house, and I found out later on that had I come to the house 15 minutes later, there wouldn't have been a fight. But she was mad at one of her girlfriends. She was trying to ask me what my opinion was, and as it turns out, my girlfriend was wrong as hell. Now, later on, she apologized to her friend, and she apologized to me for being mean at the time. But she was wrong as hell. Can't tell you what happened, but she was wrong. She's not a bad person. She's still a nice lady. Not a bad person. I mean, we're not together anymore. But she's mad cool, as the kids would say. Right? But she was wrong as hell. And she asked me about it. And in the beginning of the relationship, she said to me, S, I need you to be honest with me no matter what. Even if I'm mad at you. And I was dumb enough to buy that crap because I was stupid. Whose fault do you think this is? Right? And I very tactfully and artistically and diplomatically let her know that maybe you should look at what your friend's situation is a little bit differently. And if you were to look at it differently, how would you react then? That was my way of saying, you were freaking wrong. But isn't that a diplomatic way of saying it? Isn't that a nice way of saying it? I did it very well. That's the kind of thing that when I used to do sales back in the day, when I had an angry person calling me up, I would couch it like that. And sometimes they always stop being angry, but a lot of times I would actually turn something that was not going to be a sale into a sale with that kind of technique, and it worked, but it did not work here. Because after I did that, sitting there with a smile on my face, hoping that she would reevaluate the situation and realize she was inaccurate, she goes, oh, so you think that, and she used the B word for women, is right and not me? Well, you sassafras and Jehoshaphat. Let me give you a hint. Those were not the words she used. Right? And she walks into the other room and slams the door. And I realize that the only thing that's going to get slammed that night is that door. And that's all that's going to happen. Phone rings. Brrr. Her girlfriend comes on the phone. They start arguing again. And then I hear her girlfriend say something. Baka, 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 baka. And then my girlfriend goes, oh my God. You're right. I was so wrong. And I'm thinking, okay, now she realizes she's wrong. She's going to come out. She's going to apologize to me. And then I'm going to do what I came over here to do, which is spend time with her. And by spending time with her, I mean getting it on with her and then going out to get something to eat and then going to a movie and then hanging with her friends and then coming back and then getting it on with her 3 more times. That's what I thought was going to happen. Once again, I told you, back then I was stupid. She comes back out with a smile. Hey, she's not looking at me. She's just smiling in general because her friend and her are not fighting anymore. It's great. Yes. And then she turns her head to the left, and I'm sitting there with a smile on my face like everything is going to be okay because, once again, I think I've already said this. I was stupid. And she was mean to me the whole day. Did we go to the movies? Yes. She laughed and had a great time at the movies. But then she would look over at me, and normally when we would go to movies and something good would happen on the screen, she'd keep the smile on her face. She'd lean over. Maybe she'd give me a peck on the cheek, and she'd lean into me. And she looked at me, and the smile went off her face. She's now mad at me for being right. We go to the dinner. She's nice to the waiter. She's nice to everybody in the restaurant. And as soon as they go away, she looks at me like she wants to drop kick me down the steps. I drop her off at the house. She gets out of the car, slams the door. Once again, the doors got slammed. I did not. I drive home. She doesn't even, I used to do that thing where, do me a favor, when you get in the house, flick the lights, and I'll know everything's cool. Because I, under normal circumstances, I'd be going in with her, and then, into her. Indelicate, I know, but that's it. But I knew that was not going to happen. So I just wanted to, she says, I asked her to flick the light, and she said something similar to flick you. I think something like that. But it was not that. And I drove home. The next day she called. She apologized, which was great. But I started thinking, had I come to the house 15 minutes later, that phone call with her girlfriend would have happened. I would not have been there. She would have resolved that. She would have come out and said, I just had a good fight with my girlfriend. Man, she called back, and I was like, I was so wrong. Man, we would have been able to laugh at it. I could have been able to playfully roast her about it. She would have roasted me back. We would have laughed, got it on, went out to get something to eat, go to the movies, hang out with her friends, come back, get it on 3 more times, but that did not happen. If only some kind of thing, much like I said, I would love to have something that tells us before we get sick so we can schedule it. I would also like something that tells you how to avoid fights. That would have been a fantastic thing. I would be driving to her house, smiling in anticipation of seeing this beautiful sister and kissing on her and rubbing on stuff and picking her up and carrying her someplace to do some stuff, to her stuff with my stuff, and then going to a movie, hanging out with her friends. We already told you that part, right? But imagine if that was a system, right? I'm driving to her house. Beep, beep, beep. S. Anthony Thomas. S. Anthony Thomas. Do not go to the house. Your girl is having a fight with her friend. You need to delay your arrival by 16 minutes and 45 seconds, right? And I would pull around. I'd be a block away sitting in the car listening to some podcasts, right? Like you're listening to this one. And I'd watch the timer go down. Boop, boop. 4, 3, 2. You can take off now. And then I show up at her house. Hey, I just had a fight with my girlfriend. I was so mad at her, and then she called back, and now we're all cool. Everything's great. Fantastic. Can we get it on now? Then get something to eat, go to the movies, go hang out with your friends, and then come back and get it on 3 more times? Yes, we can. That would be fantastic. But unfortunately, our world isn't like that yet. Scientists, I'm going to need you to get on that. I'm going to need you to get on that, my friends. Please. Find a way to let us know when we're going to be sick so we can schedule out our days. And if you can find a way to create some kind of device that lets us know how to avoid fights, that would be cool. Please get on that. And if you're listening to this voice right now, I need you to get on something. I need you to get on this. Follow me on social media. Go to my YouTube channel, Mr. S. Anthony Thomas, and subscribe. And if you're not subscribed to this podcast, I believe you should, my friend. If you like this podcast, make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. Spread the word. I would appreciate it. Much love to you, my friends. Thank you for listening to me again. You've been here for 10 years. And it's been a fantastic 10 years, and I look forward to the next 10, my friends. Much love to you all. I am S. Anthony Thomas, and I am out.